Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss on a topic which is titled the COVID Echo Chamber. So what is echo chamber? So echo chamber is a chamber in which you can hear your echo. So that is what basically is there. Or they are the emotions of your mind. The emotions of your mind which undergo no change, or it resists change. So it speaks to yourself. Okay. So it is an emotional aspect of your mind. And why it is significant in the COVID time is because in the COVID time you get opportunity to converse with your mind. So in the times of COVID, we have the opportunity to be isolated. We have less communication. So there are many instances when you will encounter your echo chamber, and it's the right time to introspect. So I also had the opportunity of being in isolation, and when I visited my echo chamber, I had some general observations which I would like to share with you. And the first thing that I thought was, how was the world before the COVID situation? What were we trying to do? Or what were the global changes that were taking place in the scenario before COVID? So one thing that I noticed, that there was information overdose. So there was information overdose. We were subjected to lots of information which were readily available in our fingertips, and we were accessing them. But this part of the information is still relevant, and it hasn't changed much in the COVID time. But what this information overdose has done is that it has lowered our attention span. We are eager to observe things and find out things which are delivered from the internet or the other sources from which are the Google sites, etc., where they give you a lot of information. Some of them might be true, some of them might be false. Anyway, we had this information overdose, and it is also seen in the information technology part of it with respect to the social media. So we were avid users of the social media. We spent lots of time in the social media, which I'm telling you, we're doing it now also. There's no difference between the COVID time and now. But what I would like to say is that how it has affected us is with respect to the lower attention span. Okay? So the immediate results that you get from the information are processed in your thought, and the feelings are associated with it. So there has been an information overdose. There has been high use of social media and aspects associated with the social media, which has affected you in several ways. And this is what I was finding out in my echo chamber. I was referring to as a process of introspection. So what has made me think and formulate some ideas. Okay, so secondly, one thing that I observed, that we were a part of a competent work culture. Now, whether that's students or whether that's job, people who are in job, we used to be very competent, and we were very busy. So we were very busy actually before the COVID situation. What happened was that there was a heightened level of pressure associated with your work. For students, if it was with respect to assignments, seminars, and their academics, we used to be very busy. So this is the aspect that associated with the work culture, that we were very busy. So this is something that had changed in the COVID times. So we had isolation, we had a lockdown. So at that point of time, we were less busy. we were spending more time. This is why exactly there's an echo chamber in operation now. Okay, so our work culture was such that we were stimulated to perform excessively, we enjoyed it, we were busy. So this is what happened, one change that happened. Okay, so I'm just tabulating this thing. Then the advances in technology. The advances in technology, we were consumers of the advances in technology. But this is what, with respect to the social media, earlier I had told about the information overdose associated with the social media. Now I'm telling the how technology has changed. For example, one thing that I can remember is maybe 6-7 years back, if you wanted to see a movie, we had to go to the theater and we have to purchase tickets, we had to wait in long queues, etc. If you wanted to commute to a particular place, you needed to book a taxi in advance, or you need to use the public vehicles. But now technology has so much improved that we can easily get things. It can be even food. Even food or a taxi or booking a cinema. I'm just telling what this is prior to the COVID situation. This is how technology had helped us. There are various examples. I wouldn't like to specifically mention something, but you know how this technology has helped, starting from booking tickets to commuting to food, etc. So this had a profound effect in every aspect of our life. So what happened when the COVID came? The initial situation came. As a person, what happened? You had easy and casual life and instant gratification. So we are seeing at a personal level what happened. So at a personal level, in technology, when advancements of technology made your life very easy and very casual, and you were instantly gratified at the click of your phone or your mouse, etc. So this is how the advancements in technology had helped you. And you also had faith in the medical and the advancements in research. Okay, so the research advancements and medicine, etc. had most of us, at least for my sake, I believe that most of the medicine were enough to cure me and things would be safe. So these are conversations that are there in the echo chamber and observations with respect to that. So some aspects at a personal level are in research advancement and medicine is, as far as research advancements and medicine are concerned, is that I was complacent. I was happy that it would not affect me, I am safe. Okay, so that feeling of insecurity has crept us once the virus was delivered. So insecurity is another factor that I encountered in my echo chamber. Okay, so these are some of the aspects of this thing, and there are also some things like I can also think about accumulating wealth and lifestyle. So what has happened to our wealth and lifestyle? We were busy competing, we were busy being busy, and we were also having the best of times, and we used to enhance our wealth and lifestyle. There was a particular pattern in which we used to go. All of us used to think that we were different from one another. Well, basically all of us are similar genetically as well. We are 99.9% similar, all human beings. But still, we used to think that each of us are different. We used to adopt a lifestyle of our own, and we used to think that we were unique. Okay, so all of us were special according to each of us, and we enjoyed how special we were to a big extent. So this was quite evident in our wealth and lifestyle. Okay, so in our wealth and lifestyle part of it, we accumulated. Most of us were, even the wealth part is that I feel that there was a equality as far as the wealth is concerned. Accessibility to various lifestyles were possible for people from all realms. This is one good aspect, but still what we saw is that our lifestyle and wealth had been at a rejuvenated level prior to the COVID situation. So this is something that I observed. And one more change in the positive I observed is with respect to the environment. Okay, with respect to the environment. I think I will write here. So what I found out that before the COVID situation, we were excessively using the environment, and we had its repercussions in the form of climate change. We have witnessed the floods and the storms world over, wildfire, etc. So we were incessantly using the environment. We were using the environment for cutting trees and for various betterment facilities that we needed to upgrade ourselves with. So this is one positive change that has come out with respect to the pandemic. And as a result of lockdown, there was less pollution, and there were various newspaper reports which were associated with the environment. So this is something that I can associate with the environment in positive way. So this is what my echo chamber had told me. I might have my personal reservations, and there will be many other factors. Some factors I just wanted to point out. So these are what I'm trying to focus is that this is the part. Usually you will have conversations where in an echo chamber when you converse with yourself. You will have personal part. I was just talking about some of the general aspects. Yes, and then what else did my echo chamber tell me? Yes, so as a result of all this, I found out that there were a paradox of choices. This is the name of a book also. Paradox of choices. So we are the only organisms, I think, alive which has the ability to exercise options. We have different kinds of choices. So before the COVID situation came in, we were able to regulate our choices. We were able to exercise our choices and select which was the best one for us. But what happened is that the COVID situation shut off the door of the choices that were available to us. So we, when we were encountering our echo chambers in our isolated systems, we lost the ability to exercise the options that were available to us, whether it was pertaining to lifestyle, whether it was pertaining to our work. We had to compromise. We had to compromise with our options. So this is something that has seriously affected us during the time of the pandemic. So there were many choices which were available to us prior to that. So we had to be limited to us with respect to most of the factors that are associated with this thing. And we were also a part of a propaganda, or we were a part of a propaganda, at least the political part of it, and this is what we usually witness in this thing. So the propaganda was with respect to the disease itself, so this resulted in an element of fear. So that is something that had affected us in the times of this thing. The propaganda of fear. So the fear is, I think some of the speakers have already mentioned in their books that false evidence appearing real. So we don't know about the nature of the evidence which is associated with the propaganda of COVID-19, but media initially took up, and the social media as well, and what was propagated is, I presume it to be fear. And so this we were a part of this propaganda. We used to inquisitively watch the conditions of the world. Especially I remember the initial phases when the virus was very active in Italy during the times of in March, April, etc. So this propaganda gave rise to fear. So fear in all of us with respect to the virus, which I believe now has changed a bit. So this is one factor that I witnessed in my echo chamber. I also witnessed that I had a high level of self-importance. You know, mostly I was so much of me. I wouldn't say selfish, but I was self-importance. there was an aura of importance that I saw in myself. I think this basically the reason why I'm doing this echo chamber thing, because I wish it resonates with you. So this is what I encountered, self-importance, because I was busy in so many activities and I was engaged. I had my own degree of self-importance, and this importance was nullified by the effects of the pandemic. So many things which we used to be here, we had instant, starting from the environment, the effects of the environment which positively changed during the time of the COVID, to the information overdose which is still continuous here, and we continue to receive information. We don't know if it's true or not, but we are accessed to all kinds of information, and we have the competent work culture which got changed. Now we are coming back to the work culture, but that is in the remote mode or in the online mode. Then some of the we had an easy and casual life that changed during the times of the pandemic. There was a level of insecurity, there was a level of fear, and there were choices that we used to exercise, and we also had some amount of self-importance. So these are some of the aspects that while introspection I saw in my echo chamber. You will also have your own echo chamber, but once we try to go in further and investigate, our perspective should change, because this is mostly all negative factors. So how can you converse with your echo chamber more actively and make it a better way? So some of the thing is that we need to be happy. So this is the echo chamber that we are in, and how can we be more happy? So we can be more happy by practicing something called as gratitude. There's a book by Rhonda Byrne on gratitude. You can read that book by Rhonda Byrne on gratitude. So gratitude is, all these fears and things are based on the positions that you have, that is externally present. You internally have the many elements of gratitude which you can practice. So I suggest to you that you practice gratitude for all the good things that you have, and in spite of unknown information, unknown propaganda, a part of a disease that is affecting us, instead of being subjecting yourself to that, the best thing that you can do is you can practice gratitude by having all the good things that you have, and you can practice patience. See, patience is some of the good virtues that we have are, see, I'm telling you about instant gratification. Instant gratification is quite contrary to having patience. So patience is by waiting. I think I'll just write them down. So some of the good qualities that you can practice when conversing with your echo chamber is, you can practice gratitude. Gratitude is about all the good things that you have, all the good friends that you have, family members that you have, and you can be thankful to all the good things that nature has blessed you with, and you can spend time in nature itself, close to your home, and this is something that you can do, gratitude. And secondly, I was telling about practicing patience. So yeah, like what I told, instant gratification and patience don't go hand in hand. So be patient about the time. Earlier I used to remember that we were impatient with whenever we had to wait for something. So I am sometimes confused whether some of these videos that I make, whether my students and those people will be able to have the patience, because of the short attention span that we are subjected to because of our information overdose and utilization, use of mobile phone have restricted. It's not only with respect to adolescent or college going children or adults, even small children. Small children also are a part of the online programs, and now they have accessibility with their phones, and they also play video games on mobile phones, etc. So all of this is contributing to this big problem, which is the short attention span. So this short attention span can be overcome by patience. Patience in, I think stillness would be the right term. So practicing stillness. So which are the ways by which you practice stillness? You can go to traditional methods of yoga, meditation, etc. There are many guided meditations available in the internet. There are soothing music that you can listen to, and you can practice patience and stillness. So nothingness is something that you can accommodate. You don't have to be in overwhelm. You can be free. You can simply sit, relax, and do nothing, because this is the time for that. All of us are in this lockdown, so you don't need to overwhelm that you have to complete so and so, you have to do. So be patient, be still, spend time in nature, and reduce that overwhelm part of it. And so this is something that you can do. And see, this entire episode or aspect of echo chamber has come because I practice something called as self-awareness. So self-awareness, stillness, etc. come hand in hand. Just get some free time to spend yourself and not necessarily contemplating or speculating the facts of the echo chamber, but just by being free you can have self-awareness, and you can see how you understand yourselves better. So it is about your inner strength that is important. Then of course understanding is important. Understanding how certain situations are, or understanding a particular event, and without judgment you try to understand things, and when you try to understand things an attitude develops. So this attitude of understanding what happened, what is happening in the situation will guide you to better prospects. And so when I mean about understanding and when I say about nothingness is not exactly what I'm telling about doing nothing. It is especially when you are anxious, or when you have that insecurity, or when you have fear regarding what is going to happen. My exams are postponed, my exams are not conducted. So at those point of anxious circumstances, you can resort to nothingness. This doesn't mean that sitting idle or being nothing. So nothingness embodies a bigger version of yourself. So this understanding could be good. So you can have better understanding, you can practice self-awareness, you can be patient with yourself, you can you can exercise stillness in the nature. You can see how the wind comes and touches you if there is a wind, and when there is rain you can enjoy. So aesthetics of nature is one good aspect of stillness. So it is good if you can comprehend these things. Yes, and of course relationships. Relationships are very ideal. Relationships, comprehending relationships as well. Whatever good relationships that you have with your friends, with your family members, and please enhance them. Don't waste this opportunity. Your long lost friends can be called. You can remember all the good times that you have had, and you can meet new people online and discuss healthy issues which are associated. You can be a part of movements. I know there are so many reunions that have come up here, so all that have positively contributed to this thing. So this is one thing. By comprehending relationships you can overcome this echo chamber. So these are some of the aspects that come into my mind, and one thing that we do with all this, what I meant, all these things will help you in the long run. Better self-awareness, better understanding, better relationships, better stillness of your mind, and better gratitude will help you to get transformed. And this transformation would be ideal in changing your perspective. You know, basically we have a perspective of the world, and we have perspective of the circumstances. But if you think, this was the world before your COVID. This was the world before your COVID. So if you think about this thing, most of the aspects associated with this tend to be negative. So what has happened in one way would be kind of resonating with you to develop a better version of you. So maybe this was ideal that this change had to take place. Yeah, so coming back, the first thing that we would like to see is whether we were happy in those situations, and are we happy now. So that is what is important. That is the most important aspect of this thing. So at this point, when you practice these virtues, you tend to be happy because perspectives keep changing depending on your awareness. So Yuval Noah Harari had said once that this questions are important. So in this isolated exercise that I am engaging, there are no chances of questions. So I would just like to know something from you, is that one, I will deliberately put in a character here. So this is the character of a successful movie artist and this role was particularly successful. But if you see this particular instance where this particular character had come, he was the antagonist in the movie. Okay? So if the same virtues, the same character possessed 10 years or 20 years back, how would you look into that character? Because at that point of time there were similar brother characters, people who possessed certain virtues were worshipped as heroes, and now the same perspective, a character with the same perspective, with the same moral code, etc. I know he's a bit cracked, but still he seems to be the antagonist. So what was the change in perception that was there? So this is one question that you can answer yourself. So I would like to end. I just wanted to inform you about the echo chamber, which all of us are part of, the personal echo chamber, and I hope you also had in your echo chamber such discussions with your mind. Thank you.